up, man? We back.
Welcome.
How we feeling?
Feeling
Appreciate
good,
you
man.
tuning in. Man,
It's been a long time.
A lot been happening.
Shouldn't have left you without a good engineer pod to step to type shit.
Type shit.
Yeah.
Good lifestyle engineer, behind the scenes vibes.
Yeah.
Got my brother Trav with me. What's up, Trav?
Yep. Still doing the do, man. How's it been, man? How you been, Cruz?
Hey, man.
How things been going?
Life is good, man. Can't complain. A lot been happening. But I want to kick it straight to you. #1 album, couple weeks in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Sellout tour, something light.
Something light, man. You know,
into
hey,
it,
my
man.
niggas
Let's
always
talk
do that
about
too.
it, man.
Something light. You know, $1 million, something light.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
a little raw wave action.
I had a good ending to my 2023. You know, we had another #1 album.
Mm-hmm.
Recorded and mixed by your boy. Had a couple productions on there as well.
Let's go. Talk
And then
about
we went on tour. So we did a 3-month tour. That was fun. We hit everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if any tour is crazy always. You know
It's
what I'm saying?
insane.
Like tour
It's
is one of them
insane.
things where it's like
like another world.
it's once you make it. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? It's once you make it, because you could there's people that go on tour and they're like, "Oh man, we finna be doing this city to city," but in reality, when they get hit and smacked in the face with the fact that it's a grind, most of the days, you know what I'm saying, you don't got time to eat good food. You can eat fast food or catering from the venue or something.
Catering, trash.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so
Depending on the tour.
yeah, but it was fire though. I had the last 4 or 5 shows. I had my family come out.
Mm-hmm.
I had my son with me and
Yeah,
my wife with me, and
that's
you know
what's
what I mean.
up.
So that was fun on the last probably like 4 or 5 shows. But
Mhm.
it was a great tour. So so now we jumping back in the lab again, man. With you know,
Yeah.
and keeping it pushing.
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, the thing is, what I love about touring, like you said, like the
'Cause
family
you've done
aspect.
tours before, right?
Man, I did a few, bro. But the thing is, when you do get to bring your family in, like I got family, they don't listen to no rap
Yeah.
for the most part,
Mhm.
but they just use it as time to kick it with your boy. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like all these different cities, 'cause I got family everywhere from Florida, Ohio, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everywhere from east to west. So that's always fun. You know what I'm saying? Having your fam in the crowd.
You did how many
kicking
tours
it.
did you do? You went
I did a couple. I did
because it's always
It's really what it is. It's like we did a couple of good tours and then a lot of spot dates, like festival dates.
But
You know
then
what I
now,
mean? Overseas.
you did live while you were out there, or you?
Yeah, I was doing the
you
playback.
worked or you?
I was doing the playback.
Okay, yeah.
That's
See,
a
I've never
whole
done.
Another.
I've never done playback, and the funny thing about it is playback is like one of them things that I didn't know that it's like the engineers kind of like they want to do playback. You know, the live guys, they're like,
Yeah.
how'd you get this playback position and stuff? You know.
Yeah.
So I ain't never known too much about playback. I'm studio. So when I got to learn it and see it, because I didn't do none of the live stuff, I'm just on tour to record basically. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's less of a headache rather than when you're there to you know what I mean? Because man, you doing
a
that
lot of
playback,
pressure.
man. Yeah.
It's pressure, bro.
One thing goes wrong, it's on you. It's not like
The
studio.
whole-
Like
yeah,
studio, you got studio. You can still have something go wrong to be on you, but it's not.
It's more controlled.
Yeah, it's more
You're
controlled.
not in front of thousands of people.
What? And if something goes wrong, I be looking at these guys like,
Man,
dog, if something goes wrong. And then
And it
it's
might
such
not
a
be you.
thankless job because
Oh yeah.
they do it right for 20 shows, and then they get it
Yeah.
wrong on one show,
and it's
like it's
a
over with
whole
for you,
problem.
buddy. You're about to
Yeah.
it's done. You know
But
what
I'm
I
gonna
mean?
tell you what it is. It's like, so for example, I'm in monitor world. So I'm like on the side stage.
Okay, so you were
right?
doing monitors type
So
shit.
I'm
okay.
so I'm next to the monitoring guy running the playback rig.
Okay.
Basically, we were trying to step it up, professional, stem shit out. You know what I'm saying? Have better control of all the records. And in the studio, it's just me and it's just you and the artist, right?
Yeah.
So live, you got front of house.
Yep.
That's monitoring and mixing for the crowd. You got Monitor World, who's mixing for the artists on the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the team that's dealing with pyrotechnics and all these other different things.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
different
anything
departments
cross
and
or
stuff.
somebody step on somebody's toes,
Yeah. Because
Then
it's different.
still,
Because in the
because-
studio, the only ego you deal with is the artist.
yeah.
But in
right.
live, man, the front of house guy has an ego.
Bro,
The monitor guy has an ego. The
Yeah.
stage coach has an ego. Like
Yeah.
everybody, you're dealing with all these. Yeah,
but
so
then
it
if
is
you have
different.
the relationship, the artist is mostly gonna look at you because it's you and him
Yeah.
normally on the studio side.
Well, that's
so
what
some
it was.
shit happens to be
Man, that's what I'll tell you a quick story, man. So me and Rod, we real close as far as like, just bros. So he's his mind logically thinking, he's like, hey, if my engineer engineers for me on the road, in the studio, then isn't there something that they can do while I'm doing this live show? Because I'm about to be doing this for 3 months. You know what I mean? So I want you to be working. So he offers me to do his playback. I ain't never did playback ever. This is about to be an arena tour.
It's another bag.
But I felt like it was like nepotism. I felt like it was like my first time getting that treatment because I felt like the guys who have been on the road who really deserved the job was kind of looking like, you don't know shit about this shit, man. You just do this in the studio and shit.
That's all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. I thought it was pretty cool. But I wouldn't want to do that shit, to be honest, man.
It's a lot of pressure, bro. It's a lot of pressure. But once you, it's kind of like this crazy adrenaline, man. Like, especially when you're doing festival dates.
Kudos to you guys. Kudos to all the live sound engineers and everything, man.
Shout out all the live sound crew.
What?
Shout out to
y'all go through it.
All the playback guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the engineers that hit the road and handle the sound. It is definitely a whole other dynamic. Sonically, you can't get your artists to sound like they're in a treated multi-million-dollar studio, right? Man, so like there's so many different challenges just with that alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like
but see, that was always my problem with live shows. I never was a big fan of going to concerts and live shows because if I like a song, I like it the way I heard it on the record. I don't necessarily may want to hear it perform live. Like that was always something weird with me. I didn't really start going. I think I went to my first concert that I've ever been to in my life was Watch the Throne. Jay-Z and Kanye. Yeah. I was already in the industry.
Man, outside of Rod, you only went to that.
No. Now I've been to a lot more concerts.
I was about to say.
But growing up, I wasn't into concerts. Like what got me into music and the love for music, live performing had nothing to do with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Watching live shows and going to see a concert was literally boring to me as a child. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, cool, whatever. But I liked music and I liked the way I heard a song. Like if I heard a song on recording and I heard it that way, I like to hear it that way. I don't want to hear it differently. And, live, it wasn't until I got older till I could really appreciate that. You know what I mean?
No, it's definitely different. It's a different type of quality.
But after going on a bunch of tours and stuff now, I got a different appreciation for it. But, I mean, it still is what it is to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
Like some people are cool. Fire at performing, but sometimes you just be looking at that shit. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
it is what it is.
Nah, for sure. But definitely, so congrats again, man. Legendary run. You know what I'm saying? Big 23.
Second #1 in a row.
Yes, sir.
Recorded and mixed. With production. I had production on the last album as well. It would be our third #1 in a row, but The Weeknd got us on the very first album on Ghetto Gospel. That one didn't go #1. But we've been going #1 since Pray for Love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Every time we drop. So was it third #1 or third #1 in a row?
Listen.
So
that's
bro. That means something.
Hell yeah, it means a lot, man. Man, last year was real interesting. I ain't gonna lie. It was a real rebranding, like a heavy rebranding time. Like, just I'm really, really passionate about. Never gonna lose sight of what got me in the door as an engineer. But I've really grown fond, and what like really makes me tick now is like putting records together. What I've been doing over the years is developing this knack for A&R. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I've really like
because when I met you, you were
into it.
When I first met you, a lot of people don't know this, but you had a industry reputation as far as an engineer goes. Yeah. But most people behind the scenes know you for producers and having producers signed to you and placing records and kind of know you more as an executive. You know what I mean? So
no, for sure.
How's it been transitioning that this past year?
It's dope because it's like you said, it's like a lot of people that have been around me outside of like the people that aren't necessarily in the mix or in the behind the scenes of it, the industry side. A lot of people kind of already know me, like you said, for representing producers, having producers tied to me, helping put records together.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't know that how many people knew your producers and
nah, for sure.
You know what I mean? How much you have been chipping away at that already, man, while you were in the tracking seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, I've been on it since at least 2016.
Got you.
was when I really like super, jumped in. But like I've always had this knack for like putting the records together. Like I would, everything we worked on, every album, I would be very passionate about like making sure the records came together a certain way, tapping in with the producers, tapping in with, writers or whatever, just to help make the best record possible. You know what I'm saying? So, and even outside of Meek, like just helping with my guys developing their sound. And we have a catalog of almost like 100 songs, bro. Like through my publishing company. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we've been at it. Me and my partner Mo, we built this whole roster.
Yeah, that's not easy.
And it's not. It's really not. And I've really gone like full force, especially over this last couple years. Last year in particular was a very interesting year for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things changed, but the beauty of it is like, I'm a natural born hustler, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of everything just kind of has started kind of falling in place. I planted a lot of seeds.
Yeah,
and
you started to see some of those. Some stuff kind of blossom a little bit.
Yeah, little opportunities here and there. Shout out to my brother Guru. I'm actually professor at Rock Nation School of Music right now at LIU Brooklyn.
Okay, clap that shit up.
You know what I'm saying? Every Monday, call me Professor Cruz.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
okay.
I'm teaching, right now I'm teaching record company operations. And, it's a crazy experience because like we were talking off camera, I'm really learning and sharpening myself along with the kids. Like as I'm teaching them stuff, as I'm doing my research, getting ready for my lectures, there's things that I'm tapping into that I'm learning about. Getting refreshed about on the business side. It's really helped me a lot, having a network of people that I have, tapping them in. I had the co-founder of Audio Mac, speak to the kids. Shout out my man Z. I had my lawyer, Jason Berger, tap in, my brother Wayno, talking about A&R. Shout out to Kelsey at Sony to talk about publishing A&Rs. Man, and then there's a lineup of people waiting to help me out, you know what I'm saying? And, that helps a lot, because it's like, I could give y'all information and give y'all insight, but why not learn from the people that whatever topic we're covering, they're actively doing that every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's really dope, man. It's like a great opportunity. Again, shout out to Guru. It's only going to get more and more serious from here. So right now I'm just doing one class. So as we get through this semester and jump into fall, I'm gonna jump into probably like doing three or four
But
courses.
you like helping the kids and teaching the young kids come in?
Yeah, it's dope.
That's something I always wanted to do too, you know what I mean?
It's fire because it's like, there's a lot of misinformation out here.
Tons.
A lot of misinformation.
Most of the
people
information
learning
is misinformation.
Just off of Twitter and YouTube, and they might read one book and just got it all figured out. You know what I'm saying? So it's great to give back in that way of like, yo, I'm gonna teach y'all, this is how it is in real time. Yeah. Things change very quickly in this game. So to be able to give them the real and really, give them information from active members is dope, man. So it's been a really cool payoff. Like I'm really enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. I don't really know where engineers go. Like what?
Yeah, right.
Like what? Like you know what I'm saying? Like what do they do now? Like they get on. Like how does a young engineer get on? Like, I don't know.
Oh, anymore. Get on in general. I was gonna say, where do you go when you get in as an engineer?
Either way.
So
to make $1 or something.
I want to go that. I want to take it that route. And one of the people that I look up to that I admire in the business is Jimmy Iovine. And he started how we started. You know what I mean? Like he started. Assisting. He was an assistant. He jumped in, started engineering. He engineered John Lennon. He engineered Bruce Springsteen, all these GOATs. And he's now, fast forward, I mean, there's a lot that happened in the fast forward, but he's one of the biggest executives in music history. Yeah. Multi-billion. Yeah. Made a lot of money with his partners.
50 Cent, Tupac. So many influential.
Dr. Dre. You know what I'm
rappers,
saying? So that's who.
Interscope.
When you see it done, when you see somebody do it, all right, it's possible. Now it's just buckle down and how we get into this. Yeah. That's where I had to make that hard cut. I put somebody else in the chair, gave somebody else an opportunity to record full time. and I'm
you're making that pivot.
Extremely serious about this pivot.
Making that
bro.
pivot. Okay,
Super
let's talk about
serious.
this though. Let's talk about this pivot because a lot of engineers, like from my looking at the engineer career or engineer's trajectory, it's like it goes from, hey, you come in, you fill out, your resume means something, you assist, you go to these certain studios, but then you get into this part after you you become like you were with Meek all the time, and then through that you were with other artists, you know what I mean, within that time period. But when you get into that, I feel like that's kind of the gray area of like, okay, well, where do you go next? And I feel like it's not like what you're doing, the leap to say, hey, I'm gonna step out of the chair and actually become a pivotal person in this industry and not just record and not just stay in the engineering. I feel like that's kind of almost shunned upon. I feel like it almost brings hate your way when you go that route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because as an engineer, as an engineer myself, like when I was first coming in, I used to tell people all the time, like, only sell engineering. You could sell your beats, you could sell whatever, but when you first coming through the door, only sell engineering because these other people gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? Because they already looking at it like in this weird way of where they want you to kind of be an extension of their talent. You get what I'm trying to say? Like artists, if you're like a real good engineer, you eventually become an extension of the artist's talent. Like they need you in order for them to sound the best that they can sound or do the work the best. Then they need you. To be there and thinking about what's better for them. But there's a point that comes where people where the pivot happens, and it's like you can pivot early, you can pivot late. But that pivot can sometimes, and majority of the times when I've seen it, it brings hate and it doesn't bring a lot of support because the artist that you've been working with, the people that you've been working with want you to be there for them. And they still want you to put that,
not to
think
cut
of
you
them
off.
first.
Not for sure. Not to cut you off. There's an important point in this, and I used to think completely different. Like I had more of like a, I don't know, servant mentality in this, right? And I would think more about
service. It's customer service. It's the customer.
Customer service. So I was thinking
service.
more about the customer or more about somebody else than myself. And you know, a good friend of mine had mentioned one of their OGs was like, well, who is your loyalty to? To yourself or to somebody else, right? Like who are you most loyal to? Because who is gonna look out for you more than yourself, right? Not saying to be selfish.
But it's hard because in a company, in business, and especially in service, you get rewarded for putting your company first.
For sure. And I'm not trying to
tell. What I'm saying?
It's a fine line, right?
That's the point I'm making though.
It's a fine line.
It's a real fine line.
But
what
the
you're
thing
saying
is, I have like I'll be honest, like I do have regrets that I have to live with. I can't. The way that I'm looking and viewing life from here on out, I blame myself for any whatever I've gone through that I don't like, whatever happened that I don't like how it played out. I blame myself for either allowing it to go on for that long, allowing myself to deal with certain things. Like I can only blame myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for taking care of my family and everything else. I can only blame myself for things that have happened. But and having said that, I do have particular regrets, but I understand why at the time I was so pressed on moving the way that I did. And there's no telling, like we don't have opportunity to hit rewind.
But see how it goes. Send it down a different track.
How would it have gone?
Let's see this
like
road.
When
Guru
Guru called me when they were working on the Beyonce Hove album, and he's like, Cruz, I need you to come to Paris for like a couple weeks. I just need you for a few weeks. And we had just started the very, very beginning of what would become championships. And I dubbed it. I didn't even think twice. And that is a big thing that I have to carry and deal with. That I would tell a youngin coming up under me, go to Paris, bro. Go to Paris.
But see,
now here,
hold on. It's a question.
That's the mentality.
Because going to Paris, there are some like
if you're in demand, bro, listen.
Okay.
This one tell you, right? All love and respect to your client, right?
Yes,
like
yes,
you
yes.
have to, you got to keep in mind like these dynamics, right? Who knows the doors that would have opened taking that trip that I could have still juggled both opportunities, right? I don't know because I had a fear of like what would be the mentality of like, yo, give me like a couple weeks to go do this life-changing experience that's gonna bring me my first Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, I did it out of the utmost respect of, you know,
what you were building,
what I was dealing with, what I was building. And, you know, I was like, man, that 2 weeks could have been critical. There were some things done in that 2 weeks, but overall, I think like I would tell people coming up, because I think a lot of advice comes from like a place of fear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I lose my job?
Yeah.
Are you gonna lose your talent too?
Yeah.
Are you gonna lose your hustle? You gonna lose your grind?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not telling people to put their selves at risk or in jeopardy.
Yeah.
But if you're that much in demand and there is particular opportunities, you know, you're never gonna be able to get that back, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, you know, like Guru may be able to nudge me, but like I'm in a whole different zone. Like I don't, you know, like I'm in a whole different zone. I'm in a different place in life. So just, you know,
I feel
that's
like
kind of where I'm at with that.
I feel like with artistry and in being in the music industry, right? It's an opportunity selling. It's like we sell these opportunities. We sell what you call it, the pie in the sky. We talked earlier.
Yeah.
They sell that whole thing, right? That thing. But I feel like there's a certain point where you have to buy into it in order for you to get pushed forward.
No, for sure.
By some people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it becomes a hard area to where you say, hey, okay, who are you going to be loyal to? Are you going to put yourself first or are you going to put this company first?
Yeah.
I feel like that question is never fully answered.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it changes. It's a revolving door answer kind of. It's right now, if you're beginning and you're just coming out of school and you're trying to get in, then you should put the company first in all aspects.
Yeah.
Right? And then it gets tricky because if a person gives you the opportunity to say, hey man, we're gonna take you here. We popped off now. We've been recording. I gave you the opportunity to be my engineer. Now we blew up together and now something changes. That typically doesn't go right either. You get what I'm saying? You're typically expected to stay in that same pocket and be available the same way.
Yeah.
So in order to jump out there, it's like a timing. It's kind of like you have to find the right timing to be able to do it. But I feel like every single person is faced. If you have a skill set and you offer something, because our job is to be used, right? Like us as men, we're useful. We want to be a useful man. There's useless men that we know. Like, okay, this is a useless guy. Like, we can't get nothing from him. He here, everybody putting shit into him. He can't get nothing out. Useful. But if you're a useful guy, then eventually you're gonna need to be getting used for compensation. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who's of the level to where they're getting used for a skill set that is not just something a monkey could do versus putting, we're gonna pack these boxes. Okay, that's a warehouse job, whatever. But then they say, all right, now we got this engineer. We want him because I'm comfortable with him. That's a very specific space. And a lot of times they'll lock you into that. And it's on you to be able to figure out, hey, at some point, I'm gonna have to pivot from this. And because it's inevitable, right? What you're saying is, hey, bro, you could make the decisions all for the company, but one day, it could be 20 years from now, it could be 15 years from now, but one day, you're gonna have to go and do this for yourself. And they're gonna force that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's like, how do you keep that, I don't know, how do you ride that fine line, basically? Like,
it's
like
tough.
where is
it's tough. You kind of have to be aggressive, bro. I mean, a lot of what, I mean, like having time to kind of like look back at how I was moving, a lot of what I was doing, a lot of my decision making was loyalty, but it was also that fear of like, damn, what if this, you know, decision changes everything.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a bullshit decision,
Yeah.
it was just an opportunity.
Yeah.
That was a temporary opportunity.
Yeah.
That I'll get right back to this, but let me go take this temporary. That's why a lot of the youngins that I'm grooming right now, that I've been helping put in position, like, you know, the Ben Thomases and my boy John and different people that I've been helping, is interesting. It's real interesting, and I admire the way that they set kind of their boundaries, right? Incredible work ethic. When they're tapped in, when they're working with their artists, like, they are super laser focused. They bring incredible value, but they set this precedent early. You know what I mean? Of like, where I was moving more fear based, they're like, nah, I'm about to step out. I'll be right back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go do this, or I'm gonna do that, or you know, setting kind of these boundaries. And there's a little static that come with
boundaries. That's what my girl likes to use that word.
It's a real
the
thing.
time.
It's
You know
a
what I
real
mean?
thing, and
Boundaries.
it's something we ignore because we're like, there's like this,
When you're chasing
there's
opportunity.
this code that we go by, this imaginary code that, like, you know, you got, oh man, but nah, I'm like, you know, I'm solid, I'm whatever. But at the end of the day is like, this shit doesn't just come around all the time. And these could have just been, it could have been God knocking, like, yo, take this shot real quick. I'm giving you a week. I'm giving you 2
I'm
weeks.
giving you away.
But it could turn into this, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or
it could be nothing. But you got to be comfortable
there was so
with your
many
decision in that.
so many things that, even things that people don't know about, that I just shunned immediately. And then when shit hit the fan, like, where, like, I don't know, there's just different moments where it was like, the people that you would think had an opportunity immediately, knowing my work ethic and what I was doing, didn't have nothing for me while, you know what I mean, things were happening. Like, for example, when Meek had like legal issues, whatever the case, and had to sit down, nobody wasn't knocking at my door aggressive, like, yo, Cruz, man, come on, man, you can't, we ain't gonna leave you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's from,
because you had an actual
being so
hiatus in
tied
your
in.
career. See, some people don't know, because see, I have a friend who engineered Doe B when Doe B got killed. So I know what it's like when an artist has to go sit down, or an artist has to get so tragic or something. So you went through all that kind of stuff, is what you're saying, and you still kind of, in times, will put the company first, or
well, the thing is, like, not
put
saying
this first.
and I don't want it to come
And it's not
across
like
wrong.
hey, you owe me for this.
No. I'm talking about in general of, like, you thinking like, all right, I'm gonna be tied into this one thing and not spreading your wings, or like planting seeds and other opportunities, which could have opened the door for, like, yo, I'm available, guys. Have certain people to be able to call, to continue, you know, being able to work. And that's my own fault. Again, I'm putting this on myself. I'm not saying
it's anybody's fault.
this was my fault. This is how I carried it, where it shouldn't have been that way. You know what I mean? But I think it's important, when you do get opportunities that knock, and you start building a name, you start building a buzz, take advantage, bro, when people are calling you. You know what I'm saying? When you're getting opportunity, and you can't move in fear in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're chosen, you know what I mean? If you have a particular talent, this ain't no imposter syndrome shit, bro. This is real. This is authentic talent. This is real talent.
And it's interesting, the boundaries, when you bring up boundaries and how the young kids have certain boundaries or certain stuff, is like, boundaries to me have always been tricky within this game, because boundaries keep people out, but they also keep you in. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a weird thing. It's like, you ever seen the movie Fences? I don't know if you ever watched it.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole premise of the movie was that the fences keep other people out, but they keep them blocked in too.
Yeah, for sure.
So these boundaries sometimes can be like, man, I'm setting these boundaries, but at the same time, man, go on with your boundaries. Now you blocked in to your own shit. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to deal with that guy who's coming with all this. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a big part of the music game, is everybody like, next man up. And a lot of times, next man up ain't even, it's always the next man up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they live with like a looming, it's another person who wants to do this. So why would you even treat this like this is an option? It should never be. You know what I'm saying?
It's a certain finesse to it too. You know what I mean? It's not, because I do notice that one thing that I teach is more so the way that I teach my guys coming up engineer wise, they'll tell you it's super less technical than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
I may give them some game on some technical stuff. A lot of them, it's like they have that sewn up.
Yeah.
It's really how you carry yourself as a person.
That's what's gonna make the difference.
Vibe.
Because there are people who are talented.
The finesse.
There's people who went to school with me who are way more talented with me and have never made $1 from the music industry. You know what I mean? You
don't want to be in the same room with them. They don't know how to talk.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't get it.
It's all about.
It is not just being cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people always try to put it to like you being cool. It's like, nah, it's a fine line.
Yeah.
It's just like we just spoke about the fine line of the boundaries. It's almost as everything's a fine line. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine line of how cool you have to be with this person versus how stern you have to be with getting the work done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because as an engineer, some clients you got to push.
Yeah.
You got to say, hey, man, let's get in the studio today. We getting in. Let's get in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you set up a lot of sessions that you do from me knowing you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not to say which artist, but I'm just saying you're the type of engineer that I can set this up from start to finish. I could find you a studio.
Mm-hmm.
I could find producers. Mm-hmm. I could find the mix engineer, the mastering engineer. I can get this all the way to time to be delivered and out of here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Trav. What I noticed, what I figured out, man, if we really tap into our abilities and what we bring to the table, we're really a threat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're really
which goes back to the point I was saying about the hate and why it's so hard to pivot.
And it's like
because you make yourself so important.
Not hated that have a position of power that is climbing up the ladder.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be hate.
I had a client one time. I said, "Yo, I want to when we're done, you know what I mean, in a few years, I want to be an A&R, and you're starting a label, so be an A&R on your label." And the client responded back to me with a chuckle, a little smile, a little smirk smile, and said, "Yeah, but what if I'm in New York and I have to record? Or what if I'm in LA and I have to record?
Yeah.
I'm going to need you."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that right there told me, hey, man, you're going to be in the box that I want you in.
Yeah, well, the thing is that, like, what I learned from a good friend of mine, Miles Walker, shout out to Miles, just mixed that 21 Savage.
Yeah,
number one theory, my guy.
Yeah.
So one thing he mentions is like the way that people meet you, whatever that position is in, that you're in, it's very hard for them to see you in another light. So like if I meet you and you're the intern, right? It's like, damn, man, look at my boy, man. He used to do this and that. You're gonna young boy him, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you were the one taking the trash out and doing this and whatever. And now look at you, man. But you're always gonna be like, he was the intern guy. So if you're, like,
no, I see it. I see it happen all the time. You guys who cutting this person's check, but this person's telling me a story on how they put them on. And it's like, yeah, you're telling me this right now to belittle that person.
Yeah.
But in reality, this person's cutting both of our checks. So you ain't got nothing to say about this person.
Yeah, I mean, there's people
happens
that
all the time.
There's a guy, Jason, that came up with me at Rock the Mic, and he had come in as an intern at one point, and he's an A&R at Def Jam right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and always carried himself a certain way, super respectful, was like, took his opportunity serious, was reading like the SSL manual and whatnot, and now he has a real A&R job at Def Jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, took that path that, like he took kind of like a faster path, to that job. And I respect it a lot, man. Like I love it because it's tough. Like I say, man, maneuvering in this game.
But the earlier you pivot too, I feel like it's a little like if you establish yourself for something, it's harder to pivot.
Yeah, that's
like once they know you. So if he comes in as an intern and says, "Hey, I want to be this," and then you guys might have the same goals. You might say, "I want to be an executive in the next 10 years. I want to be an executive in the next 10 years."
Right.
But he may not be a good engineer ever.
Right.
And you may accidentally be a good engineer.
Yeah.
And then that takes you here.
Yeah.
They're going to want you to be an engineer. While him, they haven't found what he's good at yet, but they like him. So they'll try him out here as an A&R. They'll try him out here as and then it might stick. And I've seen a lot of people come and kind of maneuver around things because of that, just because they're not good at much.
It happens all the time.
And we'll try you until you're good at this. And then, I found out you're a good admin guy. So now we put you in a position where now you're an A&R. Not to say that's what happened with Buddy, because I don't know.
No, he's sharp. He's super sharp.
But I'm just saying, like, that happens all the time. I know
sure.
like an intern who became a A&R at QC.
Yeah.
And there was a engineer who was an assistant who's still probably assisting to this day.
Yeah. But the thing is,
You know what I
like,
mean?
what we tend to discredit is that person's drive, their hustle, what they brought to these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, an artist might view you and kind of like put you in a box, that don't mean that that's like all you're capable of. You know what I mean? And I think we kind of fall into that mental trap of like, damn, maybe I'm not good enough for these particular opportunities or whatever the case. But you just gotta be steadfast, bro.
You gotta believe in it, bro.
You gotta believe in yourself more than anybody. And
more
so
than anybody,
like if you
man.
allow outside energy to throw you off your square, you know what I mean? Like that's like,
because it's the same belief system. It's the same thing. Like let's say a guy who wants to start a paint business or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say a restaurant, right? He wants to start a restaurant, but then he goes to work at another guy's restaurant. Yeah, that's a good decision in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn how to run a restaurant. But is that helping you open a restaurant one day? Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually you got to go on your own and open a restaurant. And I feel like a lot of times with the successes of the music industry, it might be a guy who did nothing, but he's with the 96 Bulls. So it looks like he's a winner.
Yeah.
He's killing shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's in these positions. And then it might be you're over here, but y'all not the biggest yet, but you're engineering, producing, A&Ring. You know what I mean? Doing multiple different things. You know what I mean? And then the public might eat it up like, oh, that person's in this position. And they might look at this person as in a smaller position, but it's really not. They have a, you know what I mean? It's a smaller company.
Yeah.
And you do more. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a weird.
You got to show them. The only way people are going to believe, you have to show them something, bro. And that's, it's a sad truth. Like, it's no getting around it. You got to show them proof of concept, man. And that's what, a lot of where I'm at now is like I said, first of all, is just being accountable. Yeah. Right? Accountability is key. Nobody out here wants to be accountable. Artists, staff, whoever, bro. Like, we should.
One thing I do hate about this shit, they would throw somebody under the bus and blame somebody else for everything.
Accountability.
Yeah.
And aside from being accountable is, taking the E out of emotion, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be too caught up in their feelings. Yeah. And, that stagnates a lot of things. Like, I had to catch myself even, like where you get caught up and you're like, damn, man, these people not calling me back when I hit them, or like, I hit them on the email thread and I didn't get a response back. You don't know what all these people are dealing with in their own situation.
What they got going on.
Not saying there's not bullshit people out here, because that's the truth as well.
Yeah, it's full of a lot of bullshit people.
But at the end of the day, it's like, you can't be driven by your emotions, especially in music business. Yeah. It's business first. Yeah. So you got to move accordingly, right? Like, you got to be sharp out here. And that saying is so real, bro. Taking the E out of emotion. That's the only way you're going to progress forward, because if you're sitting there and you're, sorry,
crying about it,
crying
so
about
you can miss the next thing.
and-
Because a lot of times the way I look at it, man, you're on this certain journey overall anyways.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can leave. Like, I remember I was at Red Zone for 3 to 4 years, and they were going through everything, man. They were working on Justin Bieber, and they're bringing me, like, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm touching this stuff. I'm touching Justin Bieber. I'm touching Michael Jackson because I'm working there. So you get into this area where it's like, damn. And then they left. They went to LA, and they were like, okay, well, either you gonna come work on a TV show, but if you want to really be in the game, we got to leave you now. And so they left. They went to LA. I'm like, damn. They was getting all the fire shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they the ones working on the big records. I ain't working on shit now that they gone.
Yeah.
But then it slowly started to trickle in, and where, okay, now you're working with Christina Milian. Right. Now you're working with these people, but you're working with them as you.
Yeah.
So then it became a different capacity of me working with them to where I started to get paid better. I started to get my timing was better as far as like being there and stuff. Yeah. And it was a little more enjoyable than, assisting is the rigmarole.
Yeah.
So it was a little more enjoyable. And then I realized, oh, they had to leave me so that I could stand on my own.
There it is.
And then, you know what I mean, and go here, go there. You know what I mean? But but when I was in that system, I'm coming in and hey, they're telling you, all right, today we got Justin coming in and tomorrow we got John Legend. You know what I mean? Like this laid out.
Yeah, yeah.
All I have to do is sit here and work it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, but it gets, different.
That comes with you being ready for your opportunities, being sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like you having the ability to handle these things and being able to adjust. Like you said, once you adjust to like, all right, I just need to be on point. I can't, because then imagine you'd have been like, man, this is crazy. And just clip the whole opportunity. Yeah, you just now leave. We're not even in the same room together. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I know a guy like that, man. I know a guy who his mom had an opportunity for him to do X-rays, and we got a job at Larrabee the same day, and we started at the same time, and he couldn't eat it. Like they was on bullshit. You got to stay in the back. Be invisible, but be important, but be invisible. A lot of people don't take that. They don't really understand that. You know what I mean? Like some people think importance comes with
being in the room,
visibility.
And yeah.
But it really, they're not synonymous together. So he quit real fast, you know what I mean? But I think he had what it takes, but he didn't obviously have what it overall took, you know what I mean, to cut through the bullshit.
Yeah, man. No, it's a lot of opportunities, get shelved from just people's approach to it. You know what I mean? Just their emotion, their reaction.
I had an opportunity where I had passed up for Rod, but it was Tusi. And Tusi had hit me up. He had label reach out and they hit me up and they wanted me to do his album. So they wanted me to mix, record, and get with him. And I was like, okay, cool. But then I had got on, what was I watching? I watched some podcast he was on. And they asked him who his favorite artist was. And he was like, Rod Wave. And I'm like, well, I can't, you know what I'm saying, come do with you. I can't come do for you what I do for Rod. What I would do in my mind, what I was thinking in my mental when you first reached out to me was, hey, come do what you did for Rod, for me, but do it for me. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say? Because there's two different, like, it's different. Like, I could come and record and do certain stuff, but I can't do it the way I would treat his song. But I can make your songs better. But if you want his songs, I can't be the person to do it. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then he blew up, had his biggest song after and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of like, should I have been a part of that? But I just kind of let it go because of that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It was like,
no, I get it.
It was too close of an influence to where I felt weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
So stuff like that be happening.
Yeah. No, that's definitely like
that ain't Jay-Z and Beyonce working in Paris though. So it's a little different.
Yeah, we could be here all day. This is all type of examples, but yeah, definitely, man. It's been an eventful year, man. A lot of good things coming. Definitely excited to be back, and and just tap in and just pick up where we left off. We had a lot of great feedback from the first season.
Oh, what?
My man ran into...
Yeah, I was at...
he was at Ace Hardware.
Yeah, I was at Ace Hardware, but this dude who was checking us out, he's like, hey, man, you're checking out my stuff. He's the register. He's like, don't I know you? I'm like, nah, I don't know. He's like, your name Travis? I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, I can't wait for you and Cruz to start the podcast back up, man. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm buying salt. I'm trying to get my yard together. Like, I was thrown off, but then it made me feel like I was kind of playing because I'm like, damn, we got to, get more episodes out there for people. Bro. Yeah. For sure. But it's like we're both active in the game. So it could be like literally like, they wanted to go to Jamaica this week.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so we could have got called. The opportunity to this was to get in this week was we had to pull strings and maneuver. You know what I mean?
For sure. It's super tricky, man. Like this game, like this is one of those things, like you might be laid up, chilling with the fam, and you get a call at 2-3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Whenever I make plans is when I'm going to get that call. I can have no plans.
Yeah.
Then when I make plans.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, it's time.
I was like, what the fuck? This shit be crazy. I can sit there for 2 weeks.
Somebody and just be tapped in, communicating the whole nine.
You know what I'm saying?
That one trip you take that's like changes everything.
And then next thing you know, they be like, man, I'm finna, y'all want to go to do this? Let's do it. What day? Oh, Thursday? Okay. Wednesday night, hey, where you at? Let's record. Let's get the studio. I've been chilling for a month. But it's just, to me, I think it's like how it works. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to it at this point. I'm like,
it's a creative game.
It's the name of it. You know what I mean?
Even, all aspects, because like, I'm not recording, but I still get those calls all day from my producers, from my business.
So much
partners.
is last minute.
Everything's last minute.
Yeah.
Just coordinating things, being on the phone. I know it irritates the fan, but it's like, this is how we get to it. This is how we hustle. It's
how it works.
It's a crazy lifestyle, bro. So I salute all my fellow industry connects, all my executives, all my engineers, all my producers, writers, everybody, man. Like, this is a very taxing industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very hard to be organized and scheduled in a creative environment, a creative industry. And so salute to all the people that hold it down, that do their thing in this. You know what I mean? So, man, I ain't gonna lie. I feel really, really good, man, where everything is at. Again, congratulations on the big year.
Congratulations on the pivot, bro.
Listen, bro. It feels good. I feel like Cruz in 2009 when I was just trying to figure out like what I was gonna do after Full Sail.
You think about all the gyms you have now with that drive, with that energy.
Same energy, same drive.
You could tap back into when you grind, but then you have the knowledge and you ready to. You know what I mean? It's different, bro. It creates a different animal.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting game. I need to take a break. Yeah, because I gotta use the restroom crazily. Like, this shit hurts.
All right, man. So on that note, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna give my man a break.
Yeah, dog. Cause I got.
Yo,
I've been holding it for so long, bro.
I appreciate y'all tuning in.
This is crazy.
We're gonna be back with more. We're not gonna give y'all too much of a breather in between. We're gonna be pedal to the metal now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We at you in new episodes,
Let's
man.
get it. Let's get it. Hidden Hand signing off. Peace.